Skin that smoke wagon and see what happens.
How's that for a slice of fried gold?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know how this machine worked.
It seems to run on some form of electricity.
And it was wrong. It was a bad call, Ripley. It was a bad call.
Bad call.
Some are good for fighting, others for dying.
It's Just Two Movies.
Welcome back to another episode of It's Just Two Movies. My name is Daniel King. In the studio with me this evening,
I'm Birdman.
Birdman. He's back. You know him. You love him. You tweet at him.
Do you?
If he was on Twitter, maybe. Or do you guys tweet at Birdman? Because he's not on Twitter. So if you're tweeting at a Birdman, it's a different guy.
You know what's funny is I was on Twitter. I had a secret account that no one else knew about.
What was it called? Was it just like tweet, baby?
I just deleted it though.
Tweet, sweet feet.
Because who needs Twitter? You know,
it sucks, man.
It's dumb.
If you guys, any of you guys are on Twitter, follow me on Twitter. I'll do more stuff there. But I don't know. It seems like a wasteland of like pornography and just people being assholes. And then somebody being like, replace a movie title with testicles. Replace part of the movie title with testicles. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
that's it.
Halloween testicles instead of Halloween kills. Boom. It's very funny. I love it.
So funny.
It works though for Twitter, I guess. So if it's your first time tuning into the show, what we do is we watch two movies. We watch, one that one of us is just like, hey man, you know what's a good movie? How about this one? Or I want to watch this for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And then we try to find something to pair with it that's so bad it's good. And a lot of times, because we are just pulling out of the pool in general, we wind up with some that are not great. Like they're not good for bad movie entertainment value either.
I feel like the last several times we've done the show, it's not been good. As far as
you think so? What did we do recently?
Well, we did the Greasy Strangler.
Was it the Greasy Strangler? Yeah, that one was
which was not fun.
Had like 4 good jokes and then like another hour and 50 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like usually we're like, man, I'm over this. In like 30 minutes.
Sometimes we got some good ones though. Like we just did the Low-Fill Awards and there's there's some gold on there.
Oh no, they're out there. And hopefully we get lucky with what we chose for this show.
Yeah.
But first, let's get into the good movie, which I picked this time.
Right.
I went with we're kicking off 2023.
Oh, that's right. It's our first. Welcome back to our first episode back from the break.
Right.
If you've been paying attention, you'll get a kick out of that.
To kick off 2023, I wanted to go with something really fucking crazy and fun, and I went with Whiplash. I went with Whiplash. Whoop ass.
Was that a good one? That felt good.
It was pretty good.
It felt good coming off. Oh, the sound wave looks nice. We'll see.
So, you have some info for
I
Whiplash?
Gotcha. If you don't know about Whiplash, first of all, better check yourself before you wreck yourself. But it is an R-rated 2014 drama music film. There it is. 1 hour, 47-minute runtime. 8.5 out of 10 on IMDb. 94% Rotten Tomatoes. 4.4 out of 5 on Letterboxd. That seems impressive. 93% of Google users like this movie. This reads to me as a movie that Google users would be like, I don't know.
It's kind of artsy.
Yeah, it's a little artsy-fartsy for me, but it's fucking, we'll get there. This release date, 2014, I already said that, directed by Damien Chazelle. Nominations for Academy Award, Best Sound Mixing, and, other stuff. Budget $3.3 million, box office $49 million. So profitable film here.
Yeah. So, just talking about what it grossed. I'm bringing back trivia, by the way.
Oh, I like it.
So I've been kind of pissed off at myself because I haven't been doing trivia for a long time, and I feel like it's fun to just like.
I would do it, but I've already got so much.
Yeah. No. So this is one of the lowest grossing movies ever to be nominated for the Academy Award for Best Picture.
I could see that. So part of the reason that this was not an expensive film is it starred 3 people pretty much.
Right.
Miles Teller, J.K. Simmons, and Paul Reiser. Also features Melissa Benoist, Austin Stowell, Nate Lang, and Michael D. Cohen. Not
That's
a lot.
about it.
That's about it. And I mean, for those last four, not much screen time at all.
No.
So this is primarily Miles Teller, J.K. Simmons, and Paul Reiser. Which I love seeing Paul Reiser in a thing. I grew up watching Paul Reiser, and then he just wasn't on TV for like 15, 20 years.
Right.
And then he'll pop up in stuff. And I'm like, there he is. He's doing good. Look at him go.
Look at the old boy go.
Yeah, wasn't he in The Boys?
Paul Reiser?
Yeah, I think Paul Reiser's in The Boys.
Uh,
I might be thinking of a different older guy.
Yeah, he is. He is the legend.
Yep.
But I don't remember him in The Boys.
He's like a director or whatever. He made pictures for the Soups.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, anyway.
Wait a minute. That's him?
Very eccentric. Yeah, that's Paul Reiser.
Whoa.
Right.
You just blew my fucking mind.
He's in our fucking intro when he's like, Ripley, it was a bad plan. That quote from fucking Alien 2?
Aliens?
Aliens, I
yeah,
think.
Aliens.
Yeah, that's Paul Reiser also. But yeah, I've seen him in stuff like my whole life. I love seeing him pop up in a thing.
Oh, so he was in Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah, he just seems like a very
which
nice
I fucking
man.
love.
Yeah, right?
Love that movie. Obviously, Mad About You, the TV series.
Yeah, that was one my folks watched. So by proximity, I saw quite a bit of Mad About You.
You had to watch it as well?
When I was a wee babe.
A wee beeb.
Oh, just a wee beeb. So, Bird, if somebody had never seen Whiplash, which, man, this is either one of those movies you're very well aware of, or you're like, I missed it. But you probably know that it exists.
Yeah.
If this is one you've not seen, what would you tell them it's about with no spoilers?
So Whip-Ass is a film about, you've got J.K. Simmons, and he's an old wrestler, and you've got Miles Teller, who's a young and he's an up-and-coming wrestler.
Right.
J.K.'s been around the block for, several years, probably since like 1975. He's the old guy, he's the champ.
He patented opening the can of Whoop-Ass, which the film is named for.
So Miles Teller, he was actually trained by J.K., right? And he's like, hey, motherfucker, I want a chance.
Woo!
Yep. He's like, I want a shot in the ring.
I want a shot at the belt.
And J.K.'s like, I don't fight anymore. I'm just a trainer, right?
Yeah.
Teller's like, no, we're going to fight.
Yeah.
You've taught me. Now it's time to beat the best.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And they actually made a movie about this. A prequel. It's called Rocky. They changed some things, but...
All right. I'll stop fucking around.
No, I'm loving that bit. I was really enjoying that.
The film Whiplash that we're covering today is about a young, promising drummer by the name of Andrew Neiman, I think.
I'm going to go with Miles Teller, but...
So, yes.
His name in story is Miles Neiman.
I am also going to I'm going to be referring to him as Teller throughout this whole film. And J.K. as J.K. Simmons.
Yeah. And Paul Reiser as Dad.
Yeah, Dad. So you have Miles Teller. He's a up-and-coming drummer, a promising young drummer. He is going to this famous school, and the music director, or he's the I guess he's the head.
He's the music director for the best band at the best school for music in the United States.
Right. And he is a fucking hard ass. He basically, throughout this whole story, he is trying to get the best performance from Miles Teller.
Yeah, that's it.
And we'll get to.
Oh man, there's so much good layering going on in this.
Yeah.
But okay, so we're gonna go full spoilers from here on out. If you haven't seen the film Whiplash from 2000, what did I say, 14?
14, yeah.
From 2014, I rented it on Prime.
Yep, it's.
This is one that's worth a purchase. If I would have thought about it a couple of days in advance, I just would have bought a physical copy.
Same.
Because I would like to own this anyway. I've seen it twice, and it fucking moved me to tears twice.
Thursday came around, and I was like, shit, why didn't I just buy the Blu-ray? You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Just spend the $3 and watch this on Prime, or just like we were saying, just buy it.
Just pick up a copy. You won't regret it.
No.
Like those reviews for it are insane.
So I think we're gonna get into this this pig.
Okay, so we're getting in the pig, right? What you're gonna want to do? Get it drunk first. They love that shit. So J.K. Simmons movie opens up. You get a little bit of J.K. Simmons doing his thing, and he's just such a fucking asshole. Miles Teller's just practicing.
He's just practicing drums.
J.K. Simmons walks in. He's like, he stops and he looks at him. He's like, oh, sorry. He's like, why'd you stop playing? And so Miles Teller just starts playing again. And then he stops him and he goes, why'd you start playing again? I asked you, why'd you stop playing? And you just start playing like a fucking wind-up monkey. Like, he just starts burning the shit out of him. Now, I did not write down a ton of these burns.
No, I didn't either.
I got a couple. They're very mean. They're very mean. They're very, very racist. He's mean. He's a fucking asshole.
He's a piece of shit.
Oh, he's a huge piece of shit.
If you're listening to this, just know that there are a lot of things that we're not going to say that are said in this movie.
Yeah.
And this movie is not PC.
No.
So
trigger, PC warning, trigger warning, but whatever for some of the language in this, I suppose.
Exactly.
It is an R-rated film. So.
Yeah. We're not going to say everything that is said, but J.K. Simmons asks Teller to play a couple things for him, and then he just walks out.
Yep.
But then he walks back in.
He comes back in. He's like, oopsie daisy.
Oopsie daisy.
Forgot my coat.
And then walks right back out.
Slams the door again in his face again.
So you immediately get what this film, or you immediately get what kind of person J.K. Simmons is in this film.
Oh, yeah.
He just fucks with Teller.
Everybody.
Really everybody. It's just mind games.
Mm-hmm.
And that's clear from the get-go.
This is, and I have several notes about this, but this is a classic. This is what they do to you in the military. They build you up, they break you down. Build you up, break you down. Build you up, break you down.
That's exactly what J.K. Simmons
That's what he does through the whole fucking movie. Right up to the very bitter end of it, too. Which is, oh, dude. Because it'd been a while since I'd seen this. I saw it shortly after it came out. When it came out for rental, I watched it on a rental. And I had forgotten that bit at the very, very end, which we'll get to. But I'd forgotten about it. And when it happened, when I was on my rewatch, fucking all the hair on the back of my neck stood up, and I was like, oh, you evil bastard.
Yep.
So, the fucking, all right, Raisinets in the popcorn. Where are you at on that?
I don't like raisins.
Oh, you don't like a Raisinette? Like that weird waxy chocolate and a nice raisin?
Because I don't like raisins.
That checks out. How do you feel about a hard chocolate covered candy of any kind mixed in with your popcorn?
I'll just have the popcorn, thanks.
Same. That's what I thought.
Okay, so you get Miles Teller. He's hanging out with his dad. Before that, this music school is fictional. That's not a real music school.
Right.
Schaefer Conservatory is just a fictional place.
Because when they were like, "Oh, Schaefer, it's the best school in the United States for music," and I was like, "I don't think it is. Never heard of that. Never even heard of that." So I looked it up.
They're probably referring to Berkeley.
Yeah,
I would assume.
Yeah, was what was under my assumption.
So yeah, you get a little bit of Miles Teller hanging out with his dad. They go to the movies, yada yada yada. He has
having a nice time. He has a nice relationship with his dad.
Yeah,
his dad loves him very much.
Cares about him. Yeah, he's a good dad. You can tell.
His mom split.
Yeah.
Way back when or whatever, and his dad's a high school teacher / writer.
Yes. So Miles Teller is second chair in a lower group, I guess.
He's a first year. So he's second chair at the drum kit in the the entry level band.
Yeah.
So he doesn't even play. He just turns pages and tunes the kit and stuff like that. But he's been practicing.
Yes.
And J.K. Simmons fucking saunters in the room
Dude,
like he owns the goddamn place.
I literally had that's literally what I wrote down.
He just commands the room, and it's so cool. It seems off key for J.K. Simmons almost, but he fucking nails it so hard. And I think that's why he got things like Palm Springs later. Yeah. And whatever that movie is where with Chris Pratt, and he's like, "There's aliens, and I got to go to the future." That's why he's getting these things that are more hard ass, was because he nailed this so bad. Because, I mean, I've always enjoyed J.K. Simmons.
Hell of an actor.
I always wanted to know why he wants pictures of Spider-Man. So J.K. Simmons is like, all right, play me some stuff, everybody. And then he's like, hey, Miles Teller, why don't you come see me at this practice room at 6 a.m.?
Yeah, so I just want to mention one thing real quick. Basically, he kind of goes down the line. He's having some of the horn players play a measure. He's looking for players for his band.
Oh, yeah.
The best band in the school. He gets the first chair saxophone, and he asks if the girl can play or if she's just there because she's pretty.
He's like, all right, play a measure, pick it up for me, 3, 4, 5, 6, or, whatever. He counts her in, and she's like, meh, plays like one note, and he's like, nope, it's because you're pretty. Oh, man. He's... The stuff that is coming out of his mouth is like...
The stuff that you're...
It is just verbal abuse nonstop.
It is,
It's just nonstop verbal abuse. So I'm sure this is probably akin to what you get in the military.
Yes.
Because it's that...
For sure.
It's that tactic to insult all of you.
Right.
All of your personality.
So, as you said, J.K. Simmons invites... sorry. Sometimes I write Andrew, and then sometimes it's just Teller. He invites Teller to the practice room, tells him to be there at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Don't be late.
Don't be late, motherfucker.
Before that happens, Teller goes to the theater that he frequents, and he awkwardly asks out the cashier or whatever you want to...
The popcorn girl.
Whatever you want to call her. And I like how she fucks with him a little bit at first, but then she agrees, So the next morning comes, and Miles Teller wakes up at 6:03.
Right.
And he's freaking the fuck out.
He's bolting out of there like the building's on fire.
Right.
He's fucking getting it hard. He gets there. What time does he get in the room? Like 6:08?
Something like that,
yeah. It's like no time. Like he flies there. Nobody's there.
Nobody's there.
And then he goes and he looks at the schedule. What time are they scheduled for? Like
9 o'clock.
9 p.m.?
No, 9 a.m.
Oh, is it 9 a.m.?
Yeah.
So everybody's in there warming up. They're, cleaning their instruments, wetting their reeds and all that stuff. Everybody's kind of getting in tune. And he's like, oh, give me a B flat because he's tuning the drum kit.
Yeah, for the first chair
And
drummer.
You hear everybody else. And if you're listening in the room, you can hear the squeaker. They're in the... You can hear them in the
background.
Yeah, in the background. And when one of the guys turns around before, like 10 seconds before fucking J.K. Simmons walks in, he screams, "Milk the cunt."
Yeah.
And I had no idea.
I'd never
heard that before, but it means to use the horrible person. So I mean that here's what I gather is that means that the rest of the band is to play to the worst player. To drown them out, essentially.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah, I had never heard that before, and my understanding of it might be wrong, but it means to use the horrible person.
I thought, so I didn't look it up, but I thought it was a term to get out the bad.
Get the bad energy out of the room. Or
get your wrong notes, get that shit out, because when he says that, don't the other players just kind of they kind of start fucking around, and I don't know. So maybe it means a couple different things.
And before Simmons even makes the door, everybody shuts up, averts their eyes, looks down, and holds their instruments at attention.
Like they're in the they're in the fucking military, man.
Fuck yeah, man. Prison arms style shit, you know what I mean? So they play Whiplash in J.K. Simmons' band, and just to be quite frank, it's a fat fucking beat.
Oh my God.
I would highly recommend checking out the soundtrack to this album if you are even like, I don't know if I like jazz or not. Check this out. If you like it, you'll find tons of shit that you like in here.
Yeah. If you want to check this out, again, obviously, it's in the title, Whiplash. There is a soundtrack. I just want to give a couple... Let's see here.
Caravan. They play Caravan twice. I really enjoy Caravan.
So I just want to give a couple credits.
Sure.
For the main two songs. Whiplash, the writer is Hank Levy. Writer, composer, I assume.
Nice.
And then Caravan, John Wasson, I believe.
Okay, John Wasson. I like it.
So I think that's an older song, Caravan.
Yeah, they're fucking awesome though.
Whiplash, I believe, is newer. But yeah, I just wanted to give a couple shout outs there because
Fucking
those are the main two songs that you hear in this film. There's a part where they're playing Whiplash, and J.K. Simmons stops the band, and he says, "Barker, he says, Barker, that is not your boyfriend's dick. Do not come early."
Dude, oh my god, man, the burns he has in here are.
It's fucking sick, dude.
So I wonder if he like goes home at night and writes them down in a journal and chuckles to himself and says, "That's a good one." You know what I You know what I mean?
That's a good one.
Oh yeah. But so the following Miles Teller, he's like over the moon because he's like, oh, I'm getting to play it a little bit. He has him sit down at the chair. He's like, okay, we're gonna play this pickup at this bar. We're doing it half speed, and they're playing. He's enjoying it. J.K. Simmons is like, I'm into this, and then all of a sudden, he stops, and he's like, Miles Teller, not quite my tempo.
Before we get into that,
Okay.
sorry, I just want to back up just a second. J.K. Simmons stops at one point, and he picks on this horn player that's out of tune, and he knows who it is.
Yeah. Yeah, he knows who it is.
He knows who it is
because
right off the bat.
he's a master of his craft.
He picks out this kid that is not out of tune.
Yeah, and he's like, tell me it's not you. He goes over there, he just starts fucking breaking him down. He starts crying.
He starts crying.
Yeah.
He calls him Elmer Fudd, by the way.
Yeah, he calls him all kinds of shit. I'm like, motherfucker, what?
He picks on this kid, even though he knows he's not out of tune. And then he says, once the kid leaves, he's like, get the fuck out of here. Once the kid leaves, he's like, by the way, he wasn't out of tune. It was you, Johnson, or whatever the kid's name is.
Yeah.
But he didn't know the difference, and that's just as bad.
Yeah. Right. He's not wrong. He's not wrong though. So J.K. Simmons is a perfectionist.
Yes.
Now, nobody's perfect, but a perfectionist in pursuit of one thing will sometimes achieve perfection.
Yeah.
And that's what he's going after. He doesn't care about your feelings. He doesn't care if your fucking parents are going to sue him. He doesn't care if he gets charged for fucking abuse. He is trying to find the next legend.
Yeah.
And through this process,
he will do whatever it takes.
Absolutely.
And I want to say, just before we get into what you were going towards next, there are a few bands that I have seen that were perfect. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, same.
They didn't fuck up at all.
No, it was album quality.
It's rare.
Yeah.
It's rare.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, I want to say once when I saw BT Bam, Between the Buried and Me.
Okay.
There were no mistakes.
I saw Snarky Puppy at what was that, the indoor venue we went.
Yeah,
you were there, I think.
I thought that was outdoor.
No, the outdoor one was fucking awesome.
Oh,
but
no,
the indoor one right by the gramophone.
Yes,
in the loop.
Yeah, what the hell was in? So it's closed. Since.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a closed venue. It's a cool story,
right?
But I saw
show.
Snarky Puppy there, and they were immaculate, and it wasn't even the full band.
It was close. It was almost.
Yeah, I think they were missing 3 pieces.
I think so.
Which in a band that size is not much.
Yeah. So if you aren't familiar with jazz, or even if you are and you've never heard of Snarky Puppy, that's one of our favorite jazz acts. Check them out.
Yeah, give them a gander.
So, what going back to what you were up to next? They take a break, and then J.K. Simmons, he starts kind of being cool to Miles Teller, and this is where you talked about
building them up,
and
then breaking.
He starts getting a little bit of backstory on Teller, like what'd your mom do, what'd your dad do, yada yada yada, and he's going to use that information to break him down.
Yep.
So, yeah.
So I'm not going to go through the quotes of everything or whatever,
no.
but there is a bit. Okay, this is what I was chatting with a listener of our show, and he's like, "How long do you think you could have played in J.K. Simmons' band?" And I was like, well, on day 1, when he threw that chair at me, I would immediately return fire. Like not even a hesitation. I just would grab the nearest snare drum. I just would grab the snare or a cymbal and fucking hurl it at him.
Yeah.
It would just be a reflex. So less than a day.
So this scene that we're kind of talking about, Teller gets his moment. He gets to play with the band, but they're playing in like halftime. like you said, J.K. Simmons throws a chair
Yeah.
at Miles Teller.
After like 4 or 5 times of being like, "It's not quite my
Yeah.
tempo. Try it again." Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No. You're rushing a little. You're dragging a
you
little.
dra-
You know,
yeah.
stop. All right, so let's start again. Okay, you're still dragging again. Okay, stop.
Which, by the
All
way,
right, now you're rushing. Now you're rushing.
by the way, some of those takes, I'm pretty sure he was right on.
Yeah.
He's just fucking with him.
Yeah, he is just fucking with him. There's a bit where J.K. Simmons gets in his face and he's like, "Count me out." And
Yeah.
he starts counting. He's like, 1, 2, 3, 4. And J.K. Simmons is slapping him in the face and he's like, "Now, was I rushing or dragging?"
So
he does it like 4 times.
Yeah,
and
dude.
every time, because I knew it was coming, I was like, he's rushing. He's rushing a lot. Like a really noticeable amount.
yeah. So they practiced that quite a bit, but that take that they did with the slaps, that's legit. Obviously, you can kind of tell.
Yeah.
But before they filmed,
Boy, he slaps the shit out
dude,
of him too.
several times.
Yeah. Pretty hard.
And he says at one point, "If you sabotage my band, I will fuck you like a pig." And that line, J.K. Simmons did not want to keep, by the way. I read this.
Oh,
and the
yeah?
director was like, "No, we're keeping that."
He's like, I don't want people to think I fuck pigs. Like I have a specific method. What you want to do though is you get your boots down in the mud, you wiggle them down there.
I don't fuck my pig.
You put the pig's back legs in the boots, and then it can't quite get out. So
J.K. Simmons completely embarrasses Miles Teller. Is this the part where he makes him cry? And then he storms
He's like,
out? Or
"Are you a fucking single tear? Are you one of those
Yeah.
single tear people?" Fuck. Like just watching this movie to watch J.K. Simmons fucking explode for 2 hours is worth every minute of it.
right?
Oh God! So later he's big sad.
Oh yeah.
But he's going on his little date.
He goes on a date with
He's
his girl.
having a fun time. And he's like, "Oh, I go to Schaefer. It's the best music school in the country. Why do you go to your school?" And she's like, "Because that's where I got in."
Right.
And he's like, "Oh."
Okay.
So it goes back to the studio band. Main drum guy, they're getting ready to they're going to go on stage
Oh,
and
man.
do a performance bit. Main drum guy, who's an asshole,
Mm-hmm.
first chair drum guy for the studio band that Miles Teller is now in. He's not in the kiddie band anymore.
No, he's big boy.
Well, I say kiddie band. They're also
They're still
amazing.
Yeah.
But they're not the studio band for this collegiate college. This collegial college, you know what I mean? It's real collegey at this place. Main drum guy, J.K. Simmons is like, "Don't lose your fucking charts."
Yeah.
And main drum guy, little weasel, hands Miles Teller. He's like, "Don't fucking lose these, bitch."
Hold on to this for a minute.
Yeah, you're my bitch. Miles Teller sets him down for 2 seconds.
And you don't see it,
You don't see it.
but you know who picks the folder up.
It's J.K.
It's J.K. Simmons.
Yeah, it's got to be. But anyway, the folder's missing.
Yep.
And he's like, "Are you fucking serious?" And the guy can't sight read music. The guy can't. He has to have the music to sight read. He needs visual
Yes.
cues because he's not practiced enough.
Right.
Is what it comes down to. He might be an outstanding drummer, but if you don't practice and learn the charts by heart, how are you gonna know them?
Which is crazy to me. A musician of that caliber can't play one
Yeah.
song at least. Like,
Dude, as an extremely mediocre musician myself, I can't play shit without practicing it like nonstop.
yeah, this is a person that's in supposedly, one of the best one of the best music schools in the country.
Yeah, like a really accomplished musician already. So anyway, he's like, "You don't have your charts." He's like, "I can't play it. I can't play it without the music. I just can't." And Miles Teller's like, "I can, J.K. Simmons, daddy. I'll do it." So he gets out there, and guess what?
He's up.
He kills it.
Fucking kills it.
Kills it. Loving it. I like the dinner table argument at Dad's
man.
house.
So just real quick before that,
Yeah.
they go back to practice, and once again, J.K. Simmons is fucking tearing him down.
He's at it again.
He says he's going to bring in another drummer just to kind of see how things go.
Yeah.
And he brings in a drummer that Miles Teller
We used to be
used to
second
be-
chair drummer too.
Yeah. And the drummer plays a part, and J.K. Simmons is like, "Oh, that's perfect. It's exactly what we're looking for."
Yep.
And it's not. It's terrible.
No, yeah.
It doesn't work at all.
No.
He's just fucking with Miles Teller again.
He's not as good as Miles Teller. Yeah, he's just fucking with him. So the whole time, Miles Teller's like, you gotta be kidding me. I know I'm better than this guy. What is this? And, which is funny, man, because if he would just remain calm under pressure,
Yeah.
he would have put him back in at the last minute anyway.
Yeah.
Because J.K. Simmons is not going to not put the best people where they go
Where they belong,
when
yeah.
he plays out, because it would be a disservice to the school and a disservice to the art of music.
Yeah, and you really think about this film, a lot of it makes sense because Miles Teller's character is like 19 years old.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So he's still a kid. So a lot of this makes sense. He's an impatient person, but he wants to be the best.
Yeah. His email's probably quintmaster69@hotmail.com.
I bet it is.
I bet it is.
You got to have a 420 in there.
Gotta,
he's not a
Quintmaster. No, he's not 420. He's just 69. It might be 69 Fox Racing.
So going back to what you were saying, we get to a dinner at his father's house.
Oh man, I'm loving this scene where they're like, "How's your music going?" And he's like, "Actually, it's really great. I'm part of this, literally one of the most prestigious bands in the country."
Yeah.
And they're just like, "Oh,
that's
nice.
That's nice, son.
That's nice, dear.
What does that
Oh,
mean?"
TJ's here. TJ, tell us about your footballs.
Oh.
And he's like, "Yeah, I'm in sports. It's no big deal. Probably be an investment banker or whatever."
Threw
It's
like a
fine."
75-yard touchdown the other night.
Yeah, and they're like, "Oh, why don't you do something like throw a football and be a banker?" And Miles Teller's like, "Listen, I want to be one of the greatest musicians the world has ever known. I want to be immortalized for all time as one of the perfect, like somebody who came out and did something that absolutely historically brought the house down somewhere."
But how difficult?
Because nobody's going to remember an investment banker 30 years after they're dead.
Or like he talks shit on his cousin or whatever it is. Like, you played Division III football.
Right. He's like, "I play for one of the best bands in the nation."
But going back to that, do you think it's much more difficult now, or maybe it's not? Maybe it's easier with social media to get to a status that Miles Teller wants to be in this film, like his character. You know what I mean?
I don't know. It's a double-edged sword, I think, there, because you have to not only be good at the one thing, but you have to be good at the other thing also. Because those are the things that everybody gets to see. If you just do an amazing thing and it's filmed like crap and it sounds like crap and you post it on social media, it's just not gonna hit.
Right.
So you have to be able to post the thing that's appealing that people want to watch and also be incredible at it.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to do both. But when it comes to things like music, all right, the execution of music that has already been written is not subjective, which is part of what they bring up at this day. He's like, "Oh, isn't it subjective? Like, how do you win first place at a thing that it's opinion?
It's just music.
It's just opinion based." And he's like, "It's not subjective.
It's not. These are real competitions."
It is not. Like having perfect time is a feat all in its own.
Yeah.
Mentally for people to do. But them having this fucking conversation about it, well, man, it's good. It's a good piece of cinema. I like the argument. I like the way that he's very firm on what he's about. The only person that he ever lets shake him on that is J.K. Simmons. And it's because he just wants his respect so badly.
Yeah.
And also,
maybe too much, though.
He's got the keys to his future.
Yeah.
And
potentially.
Potentially literally and metaphorically actually.
But I just wonder.
That's gonna sound like gibberish for anybody that hasn't seen this movie.
Right. I just wonder that character in this movie at his highest point, what's he gonna do in his life? Is he just gonna go on to play with a famous band in New York and that's it?
You talking about Teller?
Yeah. You know what I mean? Is he gonna be known countrywide? I doubt it.
Don't know. I mean, like, look at Buddy Rich.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It could
that's what I mean. Like,
could just be an immortalized. Like I don't even think he cares about money.
No.
because he doesn't have any the whole time. His dad's pretty well off, but he's like living in a shithole,
Miles Teller.
wearing fucking V-neck T-shirts that have been washed 800 times.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say he's a slob, but I would say that like looking sharp, not on his priority list at all. Which I can relate to as I sit here in fucking December with my cutoff sleeve T-shirt that has some ranch on it. I'm loving that.
So I think at this point, I guess I got a little ahead about the competition with an old member. I think that was next. But anyways, at this point, Miles Teller breaks up with his girlfriend in the shittiest way.
Oh yeah, he's like, I don't have time for drums and you.
It's just really douchey, man. I think I go back to
it's super douchey, but when I hear the conversation, I'm like, he's not wrong though. He's not wrong. He's like talking about like 9 months later. 9 months later, you're going to feel like I'm ignoring you and you're going to want me to stop playing as much. And I'm not going to do that. And then you're going to resent me. And
yeah, I mean, I guess it's just that young going back to that.
Oh, it's dick. He's not smooth about it at all. It's very, very blunt.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah. Cause he's not going to stop what he's doing for her.
No, but
yeah,
he's thought it out.
Yeah, for sure.
He's thought it out.
He wants to be the best.
Yeah, he really does. He is like more than he wants that minge, baby. He wants to be one of the greatest drummers in the world. And okay, so the competition scene where he's like, "All right, we're gonna do that double time swing." So a swing beat is like one of the drum beats that actually requires you to form a neural pathway in your brain to learn how to do it. That will allow you to do a different thing with your right hand and a different thing. Like you can keep different times.
Yes.
Keep a different time with your left hand versus your right hand. And what he's wanting them to do is to double that. So it is insanely hard.
It's fucking stupid.
It is. It's got to be stupidly like so difficult. We're fortunate enough to know a bunch of musicians. I know one guy that's got a good double time swing, and he's like, straight, it's the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. And still, he'll be like, it's still not up to snuff.
Right.
And he's probably right. He knows more about it than I do. Fuck, but sounds good to me.
So this is the part where they have an all-nighter, right?
Oh,
the all-nighter
yeah.
practice.
Oh, yeah.
So before that happens, I mean, it's the same scene, but like at the start, J.K. Simmons comes in and he wants to share a story about a former student.
Yeah.
Who just passed away. And he does that. He shares the story.
Getting some real humility here.
He's
crying.
He cries.
He's a 2-tier motherfucker.
He's a tier number 2.
Yeah.
He plays a little bit of the kids' music. He tells the band that, or does he tell them that he? No, he tells them that he was in a car
accident.
Yeah,
he died in a car accident.
And we'll get back to that later.
So I just want you guys to know he was a beautiful player.
Yeah.
So and his music is beautiful.
Yeah, for sure. The band gets started. The drummers. At this point, there are 3 drummers. There's Miles Teller.
Yep.
Who is chair number 1, but he's got this competition with
when this starts.
Yeah, he's got this competition with his former chair partner.
Yeah. Oh no, wait. He's chair number 2 when this session starts.
Oh yeah,
so
you're
it's
right.
The redheaded guy. The redheaded
his
guy.
His former
superior.
Bandmate. Yeah, whatever you want to call him. So he's chair number 2, and then chair number 3 is the kid that lost his sheet music.
Yeah. OG drummer guy.
Yes.
Who's a Weasley dick.
He is a Weasley dick. None of them can play this swing part that you just talked about.
Yeah, because it's insanely difficult. So J.K. Simmons excuses the rest of the band. He's like, go get a coffee, go take a shit, go get something to eat. I don't give a fuck. We're going to be here all night.
Till one of these guys can play this part.
And they are.
He's not kidding.
Man, no, it cuts to the next scene. Everybody's like standing around the lobby like, oh my God, can we please do the fucking thing?
So at one point I like when each drummer, like he's kicking each of these drummers out after like 5 seconds because he can immediately
not
tell.
Even, yeah, it's like 2.5, 3 seconds.
Right.
He's like, all right, pick it up at
Get
this
the fuck
far.
out.
3, 4, 5, quit, stop, fucking
By the way,
next.
so when he counts them off, he
Whatever
says,
his count is. I
so
don't
his
know what
count in the movie is 5, 6, 7, 8. I read this. I don't know if this is true or not. This is just something I read on IMDb. That's actually a count for a dancer. A jazz musician would count 1, 2, 1, or like 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, or something like that. Something
okay.
similar, or
All
1,
right.
2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Anyways, uh, one of the lines that I did write down for this, the redhead jumps on the kit
Yeah.
and he fucks it up, and J.K. Simmons, he says, you actually do look quite a bit like a leprechaun. Get the fuck off the kit,
Yeah, he's like, you greasy Mick Whopper, whatever. He's just fucking just saying some crazy shit at him. And dude, all his singers are fucking, I'm like, damn. Damn. He's out for blood.
He is out for blood.
And
So-
he's about to get it.
Right. I believe every drummer is bleeding at this point while
yeah.
they're trying to play this part.
There's blood all over the kit.
Everywhere.
Finally, Miles Teller gets in the groove and he's like,
Oh.
faster, don't you fucking slow down. Just screaming at him, hitting the fucking cowbell to keep him in time and shit.
Yeah, right
It's
in his face.
Right in his fucking grill. Oh my God, it's intense.
So I wrote this down because they panned to the clock a couple times. The full band finally starts at 2 a.m. when Miles Teller finally is able to play.
Baby, and that's how you get that cream. You know what I mean? You get yourself a whole bunch of milk and you just churn and beat it up and churn. And then when you up at the very, very top, you get that creme.
Creme de la creme?
Creme de la creme.
All right,
The
so let's
cream
talk
of
about
the cream.
let's talk about the first competition.
Okay. See here.
So this is not our final competition.
Oh, wait, one thing I want to throw in when they're done with that and Miles Teller finally gets it.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, Neiman, you earned the part. You alternates want to clean this blood off my kit. I was like, God.
Clean the blood off my drum kit.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's, there's a lot of it on there.
Yeah.
It's like that's not sanitary.
So we'll go through this real quick. This isn't really a whole lot. I mean, it ends with quite the action, but there's a competition. Teller, he is on a bus that gets a flat. It gets fixed, but it puts him behind.
Yep. There's no cabs there. Cabs are supposed to be waiting there when he gets off the bus.
Right.
It's getting late.
He rents a car. He's late.
Leaves his drumsticks at the rental
At
place.
the rental place. Has to go back. J.K. Simmons gives him a chance, though, when he gets back. He's late as fuck.
Oh. Late as fuck.
He's like 15 minutes late. J.K. Simmons gives him a chance, but...
At 8 o'clock, my band is taking the stage.
Whatever he
Or
says,
5
yeah,
5 o'clock.
But when Miles Teller is on his way back to the auditorium, he gets in a fucking car accident.
Brutal.
Like, flips the car. He's hit by a dump truck or something.
Oh, yeah. Rolls the car, and what does he do? Unsnap his seatbelt and fucking grabs the sticks, and he starts running.
Runs.
Makes it to the auditorium at like 5:05 or some shit.
Yeah.
And sits down at the kit, bleeding all over the fucking place, obviously. Because
Probably has a concussion.
Well, they start playing the song and he can't quite do it. And do you know why? It's because he's got whiplash. Thank you.
Another little fun fact
Seriously,
for you.
whiplash is not a laughing matter.
No.
It can be very, very
No.
dangerous. If you are in a car accident while you're listening to this podcast, don't write me at it's just two movies at gmail.com and go to the hospital.
Right. Another little fun fact, the scars on Miles Teller's face.
Yeah.
He was in an actual car accident in real life.
I bet that was therapeutic then. When we shot this.
He's been in a couple movies where he's been in a car accident. Just kind of a weird thing. But yeah, the scars on his face, like his chin, and then he's got one on his neck, I think.
Yeah.
Those are legit.
Oh, yeah.
And he still has pieces of gravel in his face.
No shit. I knew that the scars that on his face were real because he's had them in like every movie he's
Right.
been in. So I'm like, okay, well, those are real.
Yeah. So to
Yeah.
to end this scene, Miles Teller's trying to play. He can't, obviously, because he's very injured. J.K. Simmons makes him stop. Teller gets up and just fucking spears J.K. Simmons.
He just spears him and starts wailing on him, and he's like, "Get the fuck off of me!"
And this kind of ends his tenure at the school, right?
Yeah, Miles Teller's out.
He's done.
Yeah, Miles Teller is out. J.K. Simmons, for the moment, still in.
Still in.
Because he was just attacked by a student.
Correct.
Yep. And nobody in his band would rat him out ever. He's got the keys to your future, baby. He's the man. He can introduce you to Shake the Right Hand and you're fucking set.
Yeah.
You can literally just play music for the rest of your life.
Right.
Yeah.
So, cut to a scene with Miles Teller and his father. They're speaking to a lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
They want Miles Teller to essentially...
Yeah, because it turns out that lovely was it trumpet?
I think it was a trumpet player,
yeah, that lovely trumpet player who was in that car accident guy actually hung himself because he struggled with depression and all this other shit that they thought was onset by his time
at Schaefer
in J.K. Simmons' band. And they want Miles Teller in on the suit.
Yeah.
And they don't want money. They just want him fired so he can't do that to anybody else.
Exactly. And they want Teller to basically speak out and say, this is all true. This is what happened. This is the abuse.
Yep. And what does he say? What do you want me to say?
Tell me what to say.
Yeah, exactly. So he's just going about his life, working at a sandwich shop.
Right.
He's thinking about trying to get his girl back. And he sees J.K. Simmons is playing jazz at a bar. He can't help himself.
Yep.
He's got to know. After all this time having this dude fucking grill you, you would want to know if the motherfucker can play.
Yeah.
And he can.
He can.
Beautifully.
Beautifully. So, I forgot to mention this earlier. Miles Teller is actually, he actually plays drums.
I did not know that.
So, he did take lessons for this.
I imagine.
But right. So, a visual double was used, but...
I could tell.
All of the drumming was performed by Miles Teller to pre-recorded tracks.
No shit.
And then it says about 40% of Teller's drumming was used in the soundtrack.
Damn, that's pretty impressive.
And then J.K. Simmons
actually used those racial slurs?
Right. J.K. Simmons actually plays the piano, but he had to take lessons to kind of brush up.
I bet. Yeah, because when Teller walks in the bar and it's a three-piece, you've got it's a three-piece. You got J.K. Simmons on the keys, you got another gentleman on the cello, and then you've got a guy on the kit.
The kit, yeah.
But he's got like a shaker and using one stick.
Yes.
Like he's not even no snare, nothing involved, just a kick.
And it's just smooth, low, easy jazz.
Baby, like butter in a pan. Just fucking like a piece of butter sliding across a warm flapjack.
Stop. By the way, I don't know if I think we skipped this part, but there's a point, or maybe we didn't. I don't know. I'm just going to talk about it right now. There's a point where J.K. Simmons, I think it might be this scene. Like J.K. Simmons plays. Teller watches him. Teller's about to leave. J.K. he spots him. He's like, hey.
Before they lock eyes and Teller just immediately tries to make it for the door.
Yeah. So this is the part I'm talking about. They sit down, they have a drink, and there's a point where J.K. says the two
most harmful words in the English language are good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's talking about his method for how he hasn't stopped.
No.
He is still
he's not
on a hunt to find the next great musician.
So he's not teaching anymore because he got fired, obviously.
Right. For abusing students.
Yes. So JK tells him, he's like, one of the students that was a friend of the trumpet player.
Yeah.
They got him to say something, and I'm no longer working at Schaefer.
Right.
But I'm doing a little bit of other work.
He's got a band. They're gonna play at a thing called the JVC, which I had to look up.
That's what it was.
It's called a Jazz Vocal Coalition.
Okay, nice. Thank you for looking that up.
You're very welcome. But yeah, anyway, he's bearing his soul out there, and he's like, "This is why I do what I do, and if you think I'm wrong, I'm not. Think about it this way." He's got a very compelling argument to account for his harshness.
Yeah.
And it comes through in a way that I think a lot of movies will try to do a thing like this and kind of fall a little short. And this one didn't for me. Like it hits the mark as far as communication of a complicated motivation for a complicated desire.
Yeah.
It's hard to put that into words and get it on screen to look good. And it's just a really, really good scene.
It's perfect.
So they're getting ready to leave, and J.K. Simmons is like, hey, listen, I'm putting together this band. We're going to go play at the JVC. I'm using the studio band charts from, the band that I was fired from.
Caravan.
You remember the band that you used to work for?
Yeah, playing songs like Caravan, Whiplash.
Yeah, Caravan, Whiplash, you know those old numbers. And he's like, take the weekend and think about it. We're going to be here. If you show up, you can play.
I need a drummer.
Yeah, and so the JVC is actually a fucking huge music festival.
Really?
Huge music festival. Yeah.
Okay.
Travels year to year, I think.
Oh.
Where it'll be in New York, and then it'll be in New Hampshire, and
It's
then
probably like
sometimes
some
it's
fancy shit, right?
it's very, very top
Just-
shelf.
yeah.
Yeah. So he's Miles Teller's like, oh, okay, I'll take the weekend. I'll think about it. He calls that girl.
His old
And
girlfriend.
he's like,
yeah.
hey, I didn't know if maybe you wanted to come watch me play at my stupid jazz thing or whatever. It's fine.
It's fine if not.
And she's like, I'd have to ask my boyfriend. And he's like,
ooh.
oh, your boyfriend,
Yeah, you fucking idiot. Because she's not.
I gotta go.
You think she's going to be single? You know what I mean? Like, God, he's so fucking stupid.
Right. Yeah. Dummy.
She's like,
but you know what? That's what happens when you're obsessed with drums, I guess.
Right.
You just all day long, you just stay home in your room and bang, bang, bang the drum.
She's like, I don't know if we can make it. My boyfriend doesn't really like jazz.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So he decides to suit up.
He's suiting up. It's showtime, baby.
He's suiting up, baby. Showtime. He's looking sharp.
Hey, we about to get up in it, boy.
Yeah, boy. He's suiting up, and he shows up there. And before they start, Simmons walks up to Teller, and he's like, he's meeting some of the other guys. He's like, all right, yeah, this is the guy that's going to play the kits or whatever. Let's go on stage. And the right person hears you. These cats, they don't forget, though, if you fuck up. But if they hear you and they like you, you could be set.
I like how he used the word cats, because that's jazz as fuck,
That's
right?
jazz as fuck, yeah. He doesn't do any of that shit the whole time. I thought he was going to use, the F word. The French idiom for cigarettes. You know what I'm talking about? He throws that around a lot.
He does, man.
Yeah, he does. So he's like, these guys, they don't, this is serious. This is serious shit.
Yeah.
So let's go out there and have some fun. And Teller gets on the kit, and he introduces the song. And Teller's like, that's not one I have the sheet music for.
But wait, yes, you are right. But he goes up to the drum set, and he says, I know it was you.
Yeah, he's like, you think
And-
I'm fucking stupid?
And Teller's like, what?
I know it was you.
So JK knows that Teller ratted.
Or does he?
He does.
He's got to. He's
He
got
does.
to.
He
That
knows.
Kid hated me enough to spear me on stage in the middle of a competition.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So as you said, J.K. Simmons has his band prepared, but he doesn't tell Miles Teller that he's introduced some new songs, right?
And Teller's like, never even. He's like heard it before. That's about as far as it's gone.
Right.
Yeah. So he's fucked. And he's like kind of thumbing through it, and they start playing, and he's just kind of trying to pick it up, and it is just sabotage. J.K. Simmons has sabotaged him so he looks terrible at this very important event. And they finish the song. Even the bass players are the cello player. He's like,
No, I think it's stand-up bass player.
oh,
Right?
stand-up
Or-
bass.
I think so.
Stand-up bass is a cello, isn't it? Because you turn it sideways, cello. It's a bass.
Cello. Yeah, I think you're right.
So anyway, the cello player, he leans over to Miles Teller. He's like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah, right.
Very sax man of him.
Sax man. Yeah, he embarrasses him so bad right
Oh, dude, it's savage.
And he is out for revenge.
So the song stops. Miles Teller gets up. He walks off stage. His dad walks in backstage. His dad's like, "It's okay. I love you.
He
I
embraces
love you
him.
either way." He just embraces his son. He's like, "I love
Let's
you.
go home."
This is super fucked up. Let's get out of here." And Miles Teller's like, "Nope.
Goes back.
because I'm not going to be discouraged. He goes in. J.K. Simmons is up on the microphone. He's talking to the audience like, "Oh, I'm sorry about that." You know,
He's
whatever.
like, he says,
like, "Oh,
that was a
this is-
little avant-garde.
This is highly irregular. And Miles Teller just sits down at the kit, interrupts J.K. Simmons mid-speech, and just starts playing. And everybody's like, "What the fuck?" And he's like, "We're gonna play Caravan. I'll cue you in to the because he knows the cello starts the song.
Yeah.
It's just drums and then cello and then everything else comes in.
And when
So he's like, "I'm gonna cue you in." J.K. Simmons comes up. He's like, "I will fucking gouge your eyes out." He fucking hits that crash right in his face. He's like, "Oh shit."
But right before that, when he starts, he it catches JK off so bad.
Oh,
and
yeah.
he looks back and Miles Teller just mouths to him. He says, "Fuck you."
Dude, and he's coming in hot, man. All right, this is the thing I want to know. If you've seen the movie Whiplash and you fucking couldn't give two shits about like music or making music or whatever, how does this last scene work for you? Because it just gives me like from the time he walks back in there and starts playing and fucking says, "I'll cue you in" to the other guy.
Yeah.
I have goosebumps for like the next 8 minutes.
It's insane.
It's so good. It's so good. It's just amazing execution and just balls to the wall. Like, fuck, this is my show now. You're not the maestro any longer.
You're not the conductor.
I am. Because
Actually, you don't matter. You know what I mean? That's
you don't
basically
matter.
what he says.
You know who matters? The rhythm section.
Right.
That's who matters.
And he proves that to J.K. Simmons.
Oh my! He's just tearing that
he's
drum
fucking
set up.
tearing it up.
I've
man.
actually only ever seen better drumming in one other movie. Have you ever seen Step Brothers?
Got him.
I'm joking. Got him.
So Miles Teller's solos.
Rock the fuck out of those drums down. Sorry.
Miles Teller's solo is like a motherfucker, dude. And he tells J.K. Simmons that he'll cue him in.
Yeah,
I mean, he
when
solos.
he comes back
how
over.
long does he solo
Oh
for,
my
dude?
god, dude,
Like,
forever, and it's just metronome, right on the money, baby.
Yeah.
It's so good, and like when J.K. Simmons comes back over to him a couple of times, and he's like, all right. He starts
He's
to
like,
like, okay, all right, yeah. You know what? I'll just direct the whole thing. Then we'll keep going. We'll work with this. And then he comes back over. Miles Teller's doing this insane, absolutely fucking insane solo that goes for 3 minutes, 4 minutes.
I was gonna say 5 or 6 minutes.
Dude,
I
it's
could
so
be wrong.
long. It's very impressive. And J.K. Simmons walks over to him. He's like, "Hey, man." He's not being a dick. He's like, "Hey, man, what the fuck are you doing?" Like, he's just like, "What? This is so unorthodox.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to expect." And Miles Teller's like, "I'll cue you in. Whiplash, I'll cue you in."
Yeah.
And then
They share this moment where you just see their mouths and they're both smiling.
yeah, because Miles Teller's like, it's me, baby.
It's me. This is my show.
This is what you've been waiting for this."
Yeah.
And J.K. Simmons is like, "I have been waiting for this. This is fucking awesome."
Yeah.
And he just like all of him being a dick just melts away, and they both are just in awe.
They're in this moment.
They're
yeah.
in awe of this moment in music, and it's it's fantastic.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's
He
that's
cues
the
him
show.
in. Yeah, he cues him in.
He
and
cues him in. They play Whiplash,
They end it.
and it's
yeah.
which is also a fucking awesome song.
Fuck, man. This movie.
Man,
How many times have you seen this?
2.
That was number 2?
That was number 2.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah. This is I'm gonna have to pick this one up, man. This is going top of the list. This is something I because my kid walked in a couple of times, but she only walked in during the dialogue parts. She
Yeah.
didn't walk in during any of the big band stuff because
Oh.
she's in band and she would really like that. But also I was like, should I ask her to come watch this with me? 'Cause
Maybe not yet.
yeah, I was like, it's a little heavy in the
Give it a
language
couple
department.
years.
Yeah, but you'll meet people like that.
You will.
You'll meet people like that in your life. I've known 2. I've known 2 J.K. Simmonses.
Yeah.
In this movie, not actual J.K. Simmonses. That would be dope. I'd just would get him pictures of Spider-Man, and we'd hang out on the weekends and I don't know, throw rocks at trains or something. So how many drum thumbs?
Oof.
If you had 10 drum thumbs, oh wait, no, you had 10 fingers. All your fingers are thumbs, and those thumbs are drum thumbs. How many thumbs?
Drumsticks or
No, they're just drum thumbs.
Are they
Kits. The whole kits.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
So if I had 10 fingers.
And you go to grab your beer and it's like, boom.
Just kidding. You can't grab that beer.
Right, because you have drum kit thumbs.
You just spilled beer all over yourself.
Yeah. How many drum kit thumbs do you give this out of a tenner?
Ooh.
Hmm?
It's not quite perfect. There are a few things that I picked up on that I'm like, that's not really.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. I'm like, that's not a little bit of homework, and it would have been just an extra Google a thing.
Yeah.
You know,
Just man,
hire
it's
another
so close.
hire another just get a musician.
Right.
Just hire one for a week and go thumb through the script. What do you think?
Actually, you might want to do this and this. Do this instead of that.
Yeah.
And that's me being picky.
I believe J.K. Simmons is also a great dancer. That makes sense for
Is
the
he?
counting. Yeah, I think he has done ballet, if I'm not
Oh,
mistaken.
maybe you're right. Yeah.
I think so. Hold on, I'm gonna look that up real quick. How many thumbs you doing?
I'm gonna go 9. I'm gonna go solid 9.
I'm doing 9.5.
Going 9.5.
I'm going 9.5. Loving this, man. Just absolutely hits me in the feels. It gets me fired up. Like when he's
As
such
a
an
musician.
asshole to Miles Teller, I'm like, you fucking
Piece of shit.
I will hit you with a chair, you son of a bitch. And then I kind of admire the guy for his dedication to the thing that he's doing. It cannot be easy rolling out of bed every day and deliberately being that much of a dick.
Yeah.
It sounds fun, but after I don't know,
it's
day
not.
17, wouldn't you be like, I kind of hate this actually?
People hate me.
Yeah, right. Everybody hates me because I'm an asshole, and they're right.
But as Miles Teller's character says at one point, isn't there a line? You know what I mean? Isn't there a line to be crossed? How do you feel about that? Do you think there's a line?
You know what? For what J.K. Simmons is doing, no, there's not. Not for him, because
Well, yeah,
he's
for
not-
that specific character.
he's not molding young musicians. That's not what he's doing. He's not instructing a band of bright young students. He's not doing that either. He is putting people through a metaphorical meat grinder to get the one best person. I mean, how many years did he teach there?
Right.
How long's he been doing that? 10 years? 15 years?
Who can say?
Yeah, it looks like J.K. Simmons does a bit of song and dance. I'm looking for a thing that says if he was in ballet or not, but unconfirmed.
Unconfirmed. No, now that you say that, I feel like I've read that. So you're probably right on that tidbit.
Yeah, it sounds so familiar.
So I've got a couple other bits of trivia here.
You got some trivia? Lay it on us.
The basic story that Fletcher is J.K. Simmons in this.
Yeah.
The basic story that he recounts about Charlie Parker is true, but his description is inaccurate. Drummer Joe Jones did indeed throw a cymbal in response to Parker's playing, but he did not throw it as a physical attack. So remember when he says
He
the
threw
drummer,
it at his head?
Yeah, that didn't really happen.
Yeah.
He just threw the cymbal down. He threw it on the stage floor as a signal that Parker should leave.
And he
fucked up.
Yeah, he got laughed off the stage.
Yeah.
Went home, cried himself to sleep. Next day,
But-
got up and went to work.
But he didn't.
He didn't?
He didn't play for another 3 months.
Oh, so he went to sleep for 90 days.
Right.
And then got up and got to work.
So the story, there are a few things about this film that just don't ring true. And that's why in good conscience, I can't give it that perfect 10.
I get that. It is definitely a work of fiction, though. It's a
It is.
fictional school and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly.
Besides, I think even for the era, a teacher, any instructor in any institute, I think taking that sort of language and approach with students wouldn't be tenured in the first place. He'd have been
No.
fired after he'd have been fired after 6 months and be like, hey, you can't call your student that.
Yeah. You gotta go.
Like, which one are you talking about? Pick one.
All of
Pick
them.
any of them, literally.
Another just a little tidbit. The director, Damien Chazelle, was in a car accident halfway through filming. So I don't know if that's why they added Miles Teller getting into a car accident. Possibly.
I don't know. I thought to myself, I'm like, oh, he's got whiplash, which can cause like, brain swelling and shit. Like it can be serious. And that's why he couldn't play the drums after that fucking car accident. And I'm like, the film's named Whiplash, but it's also named after the song that got him into the band that he closed out the movie with. Like, it's got so much connective tissue.
Right.
How much of it's true? I'm like, meh, being a work of fiction. It's very cleverly done.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll go 9.5 on that. But we're about to go watch something that I'm hoping is a 9.5. We're watching.
We'll see.
We're watching Rock and Roll Nightmare.
From 1980 something.
1980 something. We'll be right back.
We're gonna get up in it, boy.
Welcome back from the thing you haven't stopped listening to. I'm still Daniel King. This is still Birdman. We watched Rock and Roll Nightmare. Let me tell you a little bit about that. Rock and Roll Nightmare is weirdly a 1987 horror cult film. Hour 29-minute runtime. See, the 1987 things got me fucking hung up because this to me was I was like, what, 79, 82 maybe?
Really?
It seems super homemade for 87.
So, one thing that threw me off was this was apparently a different. The title was different at some point.
Right. If you notice the blue in the poster, originally, they were using a lot of blue lighting, which led to the working title for this film being called Blue Harvest.
Stop. Okay. So I guess I don't know if originally this was called, or at some point, The Edge of Hell. It still says a 1987 production though. So
easier name to remember. This Rock and Roll Nightmare. I've forgotten. You've had to remind me like 15 times. I'm like, what's this called?
What's this called again?
Yeah, and then like when you see when the opening credits start and they show you the title card of the film, it's not Rock and Roll Nightmare, which makes it. You're like, what? Wait, what? What is this? It just throws you off. So it makes you forget the thing you just read and also the original name. Everything makes me forget the name of this thing. But it is, I'm having a lot of fun with this. It's got a 3.8 out of 10 on IMDb. Ouch. 2.4 out of 5 on Letterboxd. 69% of Google users like this movie. Let's see here. Initial release, July 1987. Directed by John Fasano. Screenplay by John Mickle Thor.
Okay.
Budget $52,000. Starring John Mickle Thor, who is the muscly main character guy.
Oh, is that him?
Yeah. Jillian Pearl, Teresa Simpson, Cindy Cyril, best guess. Frank Dietz, Denise, I'm not even going to try it. Dick and Adia? There's no way. There's no way.
Hang on.
Dick and Dia?
Hang on, Dan.
Yeah, whatever you're into. And David Lane. There we go.
David Blaine's in this?
David Lane with an L. But a regular name I can pronounce. So, Bird, what would you say? I had to scroll to the top of the page to go, what's this called? That's what I just happened in my brain. I was like, I better get out of the cast section. What's this? I'm getting ready to say it. What would you say Rock and Roll Nightmare is about?
Rockin' Sock'em Robots is a game that was played in the 1980. I don't know.
Yeah, it was based on a movie called Real Steel, starring Hugh Jackman.
Huge Ackman.
Hugh Jackman, excuse me.
Okay, so Rock and Roll Nightmare is about a rock and roll band that is going to record their album in a place like
in a barn in Canada.
Oh, they were. That's right. They were in Canada, weren't they?
Yeah, and it's weird because it's very obvious to me. At least most of the cast is very Canadian.
Yes, they are.
But they're all doing. One guy is an Australian.
He's trying.
One
to
guy's
be.
trying to be Australian. He's like, "Oh, mate, I like that hat. I like that hat, mate.
I like that hat, mate.
Yeah, I like that hat, mate."
It's so bad.
Yeah, it's
All right. So yeah, this band goes to record their album at a barn in Canada somewhere, maybe Toronto. I know they said Toronto at one
They
point.
did say Toronto's where it's happening, but we're gonna stay here instead.
Right. You know, some stuff happens because this is a horror film, so there are horror elements to this, as there should be.
Maybe there's a gateway to hell there.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
Yeah. So, full spoilers from here on out. Would you like me to do a sprint, or do you want to take the time to kind of go through it?
No, let's. I think we'll have you do a sprint, and then we'll just talk about our favorite parts.
Okay. Whole movie. Here's what happens: the driving.
A lot.
Then yeah.
By the way,
they're driving. We'll come
No,
back.
no.
Oh yeah. What do you got?
They're driving for a while.
Oh yeah.
A little bit of trivia for you. The film came in 10 minutes short of its required running time. So director John Fassino and starred John Michael Thor, or however you say that, filmed sequences of John Triton driving the band in the van to the farm.
He was just driving the van. There's no band in that van. I'm going to go out on
We'll
a
get
limb and
there.
say there's no band in the van. I'd stayed a banana van on the...
But that's like, we were watching this and we were like, okay, we've been watching this van drive for almost 10 minutes. I mean, literally.
I paused the movie because I thought the van thing was almost over. And then I was like,
not.
how much of this, like, what? I was like, oh man, it's been almost 10 minutes and all we watched was a lady make eggs and a skeleton come out of an oven and a guy driving somewhere. And that was 10 minutes of the
10
movie.
minutes.
But I like the way they're like, they have this weird fucking, I'm using the descriptor weird a lot. I mean weird as in like, just awkward. It's like fumbly. You know what I mean? It's very like the way they're put it together. The acting, the props, even, and the camera work is just kind of clumsy, I guess. And you have this very bizarre opening scene, and then this skeleton puppet that comes out of the oven. It's like flesh melting off it. I'm loving it.
There are a lot of confusing things in this film. With that scene, was that the mom? Or what the fuck was that?
I think that's mom, and then I don't know. I guess later the whatever demon presence or whatever that seduces men, that's a woman, and then it seduces a man.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that's the mom.
Okay.
And then I'm guessing that
She just takes different forms,
like
maybe?
the man one that's like, hey, come check out this lake. We'll come back to that.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the dad. And then the kid, they come across the kid later. So maybe they're still originally there, although
they're there, but they are different.
I'm grasping at straws here. That's my best guess. I don't know that from paying attention. But although I was really watching this, I found it to be very delightful.
We had a blast. Just run it down real quick. You don't have to go into like.
Okay, the band gets to the place and they talk to the owner, which happens to be totally irrelevant and never comes back into play, which is so weird.
I think that was just a what do you call him? Are you the gatekeeper? Not really. A groundskeeper. He was a groundskeeper, I think. Doesn't matter.
I am the gatekeeper. Are you the key master? So they pass on the keys and they're like, hey, we're setting up the band in the garage, or not the garage, the barn.
The barn, yeah.
And that's where the studio is going to be. And, lodging is inside the house. There's no TV, no phone line, none of that shit. They make a point to point that out. They're playing metal, quote unquote, rock and roll.
Rock and roll.
They're playing it all the time. They love it on a boombox. They love it when they play in the thing. They're loving it. And I imagine there was an entire album written just for this movie. That wouldn't shock me at all if all the music is by one band.
Oh, yeah, probably.
You think so?
I don't know.
And so they're going out there to record 2 songs.
Yes.
They're going out there to record 2 songs, and evidently there's evil there. It's that family from the beginning where they were making breakfast, and she's like, fuck, and then she's a skeleton.
She pops out of the oven. And
Yeah.
there's mom.
So now, what are they gonna do? It's the devil. He's coming, and that's the movie. Well, then at the end, wait a minute. The main guy in the band, the devil's like, "I killed your friends," and he's like, "You didn't kill my friends because they weren't real people. They were projections that I made because I'm actually
Triton.
Triton, demon banisher." They wrestle for a while, and then they're friends. But then he's
wrestle.
like, "Go back to hell, you son of a bitch," and he does.
Triton is a Greek god, by the way, of the sea.
Oh yeah.
The son of Poseidon.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, boy.
He's the basis for the character Aquaman.
Aqua.
Aquafella.
Aquafella.
Aquafella. Y'all know Aquafella?
This movie is fucking nuts, dude.
Yeah. It is crazy.
I'm so glad we watched this.
This is a really fun one to check out.
So the film I have here, the film was originally called The Edge of Hell, which we touched on.
Blue Harvest.
Blue Harvest. Producers chose to retitle the film Rock and Roll Nightmare to help sell the film on video markets. What? They thought that would help?
Okay, so like it drives me crazy when humongous companies or even little guys, even little companies and little like fumble a very easy marketing thing. Like DC's kind of on an upswing. I'll give you a quick for instance. DC's kind of on an upswing right now. Under new management, scratching the board, we're doing new shit. But they're coming out with a video game, or no, one of the movies is called a video game or a movie. I'm not sure which one, but I'm sure about the title. It's called Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League. Why the colon? Suicide Squad kills the Justice League. Better title. Like easily. It's just a grammatical thing. And that's the same thing with this. Could you have called this
Rock and Roll Nightmare?
Rock and Roll Nightmare, thank you. It's hilarious at how bad it is. So Rock and Roll Nightmare.
Yeah.
Any other combination of words?
What'd we say earlier?
The greasy hat.
What?
I don't know. Fucking.
What I say earlier? Electric something.
Electric Nightmare.
Electric. Yeah.
Yeah.
Electric Nightmare. That works.
Way better. Yeah. Way better.
You know, because you're playing an electric guitar.
Very forgettable.
God damn.
This is every now and then we watch a movie, and I always think to myself, I'm like, we could make a movie. And then I'm like, no,
we
couldn't
couldn't
really.
stop,
No, we
Dan.
couldn't. And then I'll see something like this, and I'm like, actually,
we probably could.
probably could really bring the house down by comparison. Not. It just wow. I'm loving the puppets. They got little little squishy finger puppets covered in KY jelly. They look great. They look like novelty condoms.
We've got the family doing family stuff, and then a skeleton pops out of the oven. An unnecessary intro with a van.
8 minutes.
I love the van, by the way.
Dude, that van is fucking sick.
The van. How many times have you seen a van on the road that has a spoiler?
2, maybe my entire life. That's in all my road tripping and shit. Like maybe 2, but never that cool. Like that white with that red, the fucking
stripe?
the red the soft corner stripes around the windows and shit. Oh, that's hard as fuck.
Ooh wee. It's funny
they wouldn't even, dude, to pick me up. They wouldn't even have to. They'd open the door and go, "Hey, kid, we got." I'd be like, "I'm in, dude.
I'm in." Your van is fucking
Don't even
sick.
say less, fam.
You know what?
Can I drive?
The best part of this film is whenever the guys drive in the van at the start of the film, and I was like, "Oh, it's just a guy by himself." And then they get to the farm,
and 18
people.
It's a clown car.
Exit the van, but then you find out later that none of those people exist, and I was like, "Dude, that's a good callback.
That's not bad."
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, because some of those people were like nondescript, and I think some of them like were in that opening scene and may have never came back. It was
Maybe.
It's weird the way that it's shot because when they start filming that scene, you see all these people getting out, and then the next I don't know minute and a half of dialogue or whatever, 2 minutes of dialogue, they show two people, a couple, man and a woman, talking to the band manager.
Yes.
Okay, and then after that 2 minutes or whatever, it moves to a totally different group, and now they're having a conversation with the band manager. And then after a minute or two of that, it goes to another couple, and you're like, "What the fuck is going on here?"
It's very bizarre.
Yeah, it's just part of that's weird, and I'm like, later I'm like, are all those people accounted for? Because they all kind of have the same haircut. Like I remember the Australian guy and the main guy because he has a giant bleach blonde teased mane.
So there was a woman in the band that played keyboard.
Yeah.
I do remember that. I have here that the bulk of the cast was paid $100 each.
Hell yeah.
To be in this movie.
Hell yeah.
How do you feel about that? Would you if someone was like, "Hey Dan, I'll give you $100," and you were like, "What do I have to do?" And they're like, "Well, you have to have sex in a shower."
Standing up? Oh my God.
Let's talk about that for a minute.
Does this include medical? I guess.
Is there a bonus? Is this a tax write-off?
Right. If I get a rib out of place, does it pay more? Or what's the cutoff for that? Is it a union job? Does it meet SAG standards?
So there are lots of there's lots of shower sex in this. We do see some titty, some boobs.
There's a little bit of boobage.
There's a little boobage in this. How do you feel about the boobage in this?
Tasteful.
Tasteful?
Yeah.
Really?
Tasteful, I think. Not excessive.
Yeah.
Not excessive, like tasteful in a time where stuff would be like, someone would be like, like screaming with their tits out for like 3 minutes and running down a corridor or whatever. No, it was all right. It's fine. Like, this is something to like, if my kid was like, I want to watch one of those weird bad movies with you, I'd be like, hey, you can watch this one. It's fine. There's a couple of nipples in it, but that's not, who cares?
It's a boob.
Yeah, it's
fucking whatever.
It's a booba.
It's a booba.
A boobala.
Yeah, there's some booby in this. Some booby. My 12.
I like it. No, keep it going.
There's booby in this, Dan.
Yeah. Keep it going.
There's some booby in this. A lot of shower sex, which, as we were talking about, we talked about this. I don't think I've ever had sex in a shower because I've never wanted that. You know?
Oh.
I've never been like, you know what? We should go have uncomfortable sex in a shower standing up.
Yeah.
By the way, the shower scene, all of them, we were like, all right, there's going to be blood.
Yeah, blood's coming out
pouring
of that
out from the shower head.
Yeah.
But it didn't. Man, I
No.
wanted that so bad.
Yeah, that would have been cool. Just fucking vampire rave. Fucking.
All right.
But it'd be like a fucking. We live for rock and roll.
The two songs they had prepared.
Yeah.
I feel like it's so weird because you want to talk about it like it exists, but it doesn't. Because I was about to say, I feel like the band had more material prepared, but there wasn't a band. There's not a band.
No. What was that first, like the first one that they got up and played there? We were listening to the song. The scene's like, I don't know, 4 minutes long. It's
too long.
It's probably a 3-minute piece of music, but
it's probably 5 minute
it
5 minute
probably
scene.
is 5 minutes, but there's only one verse. It's one verse that's like 45 seconds, and then the rest of that time is just the chorus over and over and over and over and over.
That song was garbage.
Woo.
All of it's garbage.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's just kind of trash hair metal. If you're way into hair metal, you might be like, actually, one of these is a banger, and fuck you, Danny.
You're right.
You're right.
Fuck you. You're right, and I apologize.
Yeah, you're right. I don't apologize. You're just right. No, it's wrong. That's fine though.
There's a point where I think the band's playing at one point, and a penis with an eye appears.
Yes.
All right. How would you explain? That was a joke, but how would you explain this?
Like a penis with an eye, and it pukes cum in a little tiny cup. I don't. What the fuck? That never came back. That like they were never like let's actually
No,
Let's
they
see
did.
what that was about.
Well, not
No,
that,
they brought
but
the thing back, but nobody
yeah.
was like, "Hey, what's this little tiny cup of cum?" What was that thing that he puked? Why wasn't it just like on the floor or on the bar or?
I don't know what that was, but there's a scene where one of the, I don't know if it's a band member or whoever, they're going to the fridge, they're checking out the fridge, and there's some chicken in the refrigerator.
Oh yeah,
but it's not just any chicken.
nope. It's like a
It's like an alien
puppet.
monster puppet piece of chicken.
It's just it's a rubber sock puppet.
Yeah, right. With teeth.
Yeah, it's like lasagna come alive, and then that never comes back.
Right.
They're just like, yeah, it's in the fridge. If it could get out,
it would, but it can't.
Yeah, it's one of those old school fridges. You can't have them anymore because kids get stuck in them. You know what I'm saying?
So we get to a point where I think this is kind of towards the end of the film, and the singer has to face the devil, right?
Oh hell yeah!
And the devil has these like creatures, which I believe are the penis figure.
Yeah, they're the penises
that we saw earlier.
They're the devil's detached penises. Everybody knows.
He's got multiple.
He's got old Asmodeus. Asmodeus.
So these creatures are one smoking a cigarette.
Oh, I'm loving it. They got different haircuts. There's one that's got the Rick haircut from Rick and Morty.
Yeah. Straight up.
Just from a different Rick and Morty dimension. I wonder, I wouldn't put it past
Justin Roiland.
I wouldn't put it past Justin Roiland to have seen this and to have taken
like,
any it's just so strange looking. So the devil at the end, it's not a guy in a suit. It's an inanimate, like hollow body shell of a chest with two arms that are worked by like, I don't know, probably PVC pipe and strings. And then there's like a kind of a slight animatronic mouth to it.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a giant ant.
It does kind of look like a giant ant, which if I'm being honest, tomorrow, if I met a gentleman who was like, I'm the devil, and I was like, I don't believe you, and he transformed into a giant ant demon, I would be like, all right, you got me. You got me. You got this one. Yeah, that's terrifying.
You win this round.
Yeah, ants are insane.
So how do you feel about the battle that the singer has with the devil? Because what I wrote was...
What battle?
The battle with the devil is fucking awesome. That's what I wrote. So
I remember just a lot of like oily struggling.
So here's how it begins.
And that's when he's like, I'm actually a demon slayer from heaven.
You've got the devil, and then you have the lead singer of this band. That's not a band. The devil starts throwing starfish at the singer.
Yep.
And the starfish are kind of, they're trying to attach to the singer's sexy chest.
Oh shit. As you would assume a starfish would.
Yeah. And the singer's just like ripping them off, and he's ripping these starfish in half, and he's swatting away jelly from his chest.
He really struggles to rip one leg off.
All right,
of
yeah,
one.
you're right. You're right.
Which is weird, 'cause the guy's ripped as shit.
Yeah, you'd think he could rip a couple starfish apart, but apparently not. I love this battle. It's dumb.
Dude, it's so stupid. It's so stupid. It's just a guy wrestling fucking PVC arms. And like his eyes glow. The part where he's like standing very still and his eyes glow white.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
That was so bad.
Oh man. Oh.
There's a part where he grabs the devil's legs, but he just holds them for like 10 seconds.
A really long time.
And then does he eventually pull the devil down? Does he pull him by the legs and then
suck his dick? It seemed like that was the vibe for a minute, and I was like, okay, weird choice.
After I wrote the devil's okay, so I wrote the devil throws starfish at the singer. After that I wrote they have a silly fight.
They did have a silly fight. So this is how it ends. I do remember this. The lead singer, angel guy or whatever, he's choking the devil with one hand, and the devil has a very long neck, like very long.
Yeah, he does.
And he's just choking him for a bit. And then he backs off.
And then he says,
And
"You
then
win."
he's like, all right, you win.
What? That's it?
Set it on fire, something.
You
know?
gave up?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
The devil's a punk bitch.
All right. Oh.
Here's what I want to know. Do you think you could beat that devil's ass?
Yes. Anyone could.
Right.
The little kid in the beginning of the film could beat that devil's
The
ass.
bit where the guy's like, hey, let's go down to this lake that I know about. And they walk down to the lake, and it's like within eye shot of the house. Like you can just see the house from where the lake is. She's like, oh, how'd you find out about this lake? And he's like, oh, I actually didn't know about this lake. I just heard about it. What the fuck does that mean?
Well, he's a devil, right?
He's a demon at the very
controlled
least.
by the devil, I guess.
Well, then that hand comes out of his chest.
Oh, shit.
That hand comes out of his chest, and the girl's just got her boobs out, and she's like, ah! And then she proceeds to not run away, but stand there and scream for like a good solid minute.
So that was wild. The hand coming out of the chest.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
There was like, oh, the van's gone. And then later he's like, she's like, baby, the van's gone. He's like, no, it's parked right outside. And she's like, what do you mean? He's like, it's always been parked right outside. Because the whole thing's a projection that he made up. That part's crazy to me.
That's fucking wild.
So is he just bait for the devil? Because if he was bait for the devil, then that was entrapment to begin with. The devil might have not been doing that devilly stuff if not this guy was out making projections trying to...
How does he make projections, though? Is he a god?
Who the fuck knows?
You know what I mean?
Did you see his physique? He had tits on tits, man.
Did you see his white eyes?
Right.
Of course he's a god.
That's a god thing. I've seen Thor.
Have you seen Thor in God of War Ragnarok? Because he's fat and drunk.
Yeah, that's my Thor. That's my Thor all day long. I always like, they never do that bit of service. He's always like a buff dude, except for in like one or two runs of the comics, like where he's like a rundown old man. That one's pretty good. Yeah, I love a good drunk fat Thor.
Yeah,
just talking shit.
All right,
is he a shit talker?
Not really a shit talker. He's just tired of everyone's bullshit. Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
It's fucking awesome though.
Good stuff. All right. We'll get to that here in a minute.
I want to say one more thing. The way this film ends makes no sense. After the fight with the devil, it just pans to a neighborhood.
Well, first he goes to the lead singer guy. He goes to a graveyard and prays.
Oh yeah.
And then it pans to a random neighborhood. And there's like creepy music, and it zooms out. It does like the pan out real slow, and then it just cuts to credits and gives you rock music.
The fuck was that?
I don't know. What was it called? Rock
and Roll Nightmare.
Rock and Roll Nightmare.
You think there was supposed to be a sequel? Was that the setup for a sequel? Like what?
Rock and Roll Nightmares.
Oh,
hello.
Okay.
So
Edging Tomorrow.
All right, if you were gonna remake this modern day,
first let's rate it.
Okay, yeah, let's do that first. I give it a.
Oh well, hang on.
Whoa, yeah.
Come on, get the fuck out of here.
Are you gonna do
if you had
penis demon thumbs?
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
I was.
What were you thinking?
I was gonna go with Vans.
Oh,
but
I'm about those van. I'm about that van life, baby.
You about that van life?
I got a moth in here.
Fucking kill it. Shoot it.
Quick. Shoot it.
All right. If you had 10 thumbs and each thumb was a 1980, I don't know, I'll go 4. What year you think that van was?
Oh, man. I bet that when this movie came out, 89. This is
came
89?
out in 87.
Oh, 87? I would say
85?
83 or 84 would be my best guess. Is it like an Aero van?
I don't know.
God, it's fucking
I'm going to
dope.
guess Dodge, but I have no idea.
Seems like it would be a Dodge or a Chevrolet.
Yeah.
Which could be a GM product. I don't know.
So if you had...
Well, next time, check out our other podcast, Van Talk.
With Dan and Bird.
Yeah, with Dan and Bird.
If you had 10 of those vans.
What about those UPS trucks? What do you think about those?
If you had 10 of those vans.
My God.
As thumbs.
Never work a day in my life.
What would you give this film?
Boy, it's knocking on the door for me.
Yeah?
Because even the parts about it that I don't like are hilarious. Like the 8 minutes of a guy driving.
Right.
Like after so long, you're just like, it's like Andy Kaufman when he would do the Mighty Mouse bit. He'd go to this giant auditorium. They're all expecting a big stand-up act, and he would just press a tape recorder that had the Mighty Mouse theme song, and it would be the song, and it goes for a really long time, and then he would just add like lip sync, "Here I come to save the day," and then he would just keep dancing more. And people were like, "What the fuck?" So it's kind of got that going for it, which I'm liking.
It fucking cracks me up that this movie is an hour and 23 minutes and 8 minutes.
What did I give it? Did I rate it?
No. Sorry.
Oh, I'm going to go 8.5.
Damn.
I'm going to go 8.5. Oh, yeah, I'm loving this.
Man. I'm going to go 9.
You going 9?
I'm going 9, dude.
All right, round me up. You know what? Round me up. Round me up.
We had a lot of fucking fun with it. Like you said, even the parts that like were kind of boring are still
we're funny. Like it's funny that like, is this seriously what we're like? The longer it goes on, you're like, can we? And there was one bit where I'm like, so how many more seconds do you think before we get another? I don't know, 45.
No,
because the scene just keeps going.
It was
baby.
just 10 seconds.
Yeah, it like I will say the sound is not terrible. The camera work really wasn't bad.
Camera work was not bad. I think this was dubbed though, right? Or some of it was dubbed.
All of the outdoor stuff was dubbed for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So some of the audio stuff was kind of weird. Some of the camera work was fine.
Yeah.
The puppet monsters were just silly.
I'm loving them,
but we loved it.
I'm loving it. I love a dumb monster. Puppets. I love puppets.
And if you're listening, you're probably like, how does this connect to the good film that you watched?
Music. Yeah, obviously.
It brings us all together.
You can see from the title of the episode. You know that.
Come on.
You got it.
You're smart.
You knew that. Brilliant. I didn't know. I had to think about it. All right.
We almost watched a Prince film, but Danny was like, no, I fucking hate Prince because he fucked my cousin and I'll never forgive him.
I don't know that he fucked my cousin. I just suspect.
There's a hunch there.
That he fucked somebody that I know. No, I just.
I get it. No,
look,
you don't have to go into
there's like 2 Prince songs I kind of like. Look, if I hear Raspberry Beret on the radio, it ruins It ruins my whole day, and I don't know why. I hate that song. I hate the hook. Because the rest of the song I don't mind. It's just the hook.
When I worked at Schlafly and we would do Raspberry Hefeweizen every year because it was just once a year.
They played Raspberry Beret on the...
No, but I would just sing to myself, Raspberry Hefe.
Oh, that's a... I can get into that.
Every time we ran it, I was like, Raspberry Hefe.
I like it.
Yeah, see?
Yeah,
now you've got
I'm coming around.
You have a positive note. You know what? Let's go watch Prince's films.
I've come back around, actually. I quite like Prince. So, yeah, we rated it. Okay, here's what I want to know. Because, look, man, I hope we don't run too long on this. I do want to know what you would do if we were going to remake it present day. And I'm really just talking about, like, maybe keep the really long van driving scene.
Make it longer.
Make it even longer. Yeah, make it even longer.
As a joke, make it 20 minutes. I'm not kidding.
Oh, no, same.
20 minutes.
I want the lead singer to be Jack Black in that blonde wig, but like present day Jack Black. And I want KG to be the guy, like the kind of redheaded guy that was like he was on his honeymoon or whatever.
Okay.
I want that to be KG.
You know
and then
who's
the drummer,
Dave Grohl?
Dave Grohl.
The devil.
Dave Grohl.
Dave Grohl as the devil.
The devil
or-
from Tenacious D, The
Yeah.
Pick of Destiny. I'm the devil. I love metal. Those quads are sick, though.
Oh, man. Good times.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to go see Tenacious D.
Yeah, I think
On a
we're gonna
Monday,
bow out.
though. On a Monday.
Yeah, that's
Kind of a bummer, but
Yeah.
it'll be a good time.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. No, nobody hates a bad spending some time with the D.
Saw
You
him
know
in
what I'm
2011, I think, at the pageant. It was fucking silly.
Mm.
So silly. What do you think? Move on to the next segment, or you want to keep talking about how we would redo this?
I guess next
or-
segment of the show.
Hey, what you watching?
What you been watching, Bird?
What you watching?
What you watching?
All right, so I wrote down what you watching this
I
time.
should have, because I did a bunch of stuff, and I'm probably gonna skip something.
All right, do you want me to do all of my what you watching first, and then you'll go with yours, or do you want to?
Let me like you'll say a thing that'll trigger me, and I'll
I
jump
hate
in
that.
after you, and we'll.
I hate it, but we'll go with
The
it.
people love it.
Fuck
They love some
fuck-
banter.
Fuck the people
Which one do you think
in the
there's
shower.
time?
Fuck those people in the shower. All right, so I finished God of War Ragnarok. Fantastic, I loved
okay,
it.
loving it.
I would probably give it a 9.5.
Ooh,
It's not quite perfect, but it's close.
okay.
Yeah, if you ever buy a PS5, you should play God of War Ragnarok.
I'll get in there. At some point.
Actually, it's probably I think it's on PS4, but
yeah,
you should.
It plays on PS4. Here's what I think I'm gonna do, is I think I'm going to, after I finish playing Persona 5, I'm going to play God of War, the one before Ragnarok,
Ooh, yeah,
whatever that one's called.
It's just called God of War.
God of War. I'm gonna play
2018.
Gaul,
Go.
and then I'm gonna play God of War Ragnarok, and then I'm gonna buy a PS5.
You should play
Yeah,
Ragnarok
no,
on PS5.
probably should. Well, talk to my tax attorney.
Talk to your attorney.
Birdman. Talk to my tax attorney.
Did you get that thing I sent you? All right. I finished God of War Ragnarok. I loved it. It was a good time. I was kind of sad once it was over. I hope they do a new game plus mode. If you don't know what that is, it's just basically the story again, but you have all of your upgraded gear.
Yeah.
Those are always fun. A few movies I watched. Emily the Criminal. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, let's talk about that. I also watched Emily the Criminal.
All right, what'd you think?
Um,
If you had 10 thumbs and every thumb was Aubrey Plaza's side boob,
okay.
how many side boob thumbs would you give it?
The movie?
Yeah,
Okay.
Emily the Criminal.
I give it a fun, brisk 8.4.
So I gave it an 8.5, I think, when we talked about it originally.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was fun. It's
There
not.
was my biggest problem with the film is, and this is kind of slightly a spoiler for Emily the Criminal, so skip 15 seconds. The guy's like, don't do these two things, and she does those
She does
exact two things.
Yeah.
That was the part for me. I was like, fucking come on, man. Like, at least make it circumstantial.
She's a rookie, you know?
Yeah. Well, when somebody is like, hey, I'm not a rookie, I'm a pro, don't do these two things.
I assume they're in LA, or am I mistaken there?
I'm thinking LA. Yeah, I really liked it
So-
though, man. I thought Aubrey Plaza was great in it,
Yeah.
and the guy
Theo,
what's his name?
Theo. God damn it! I just had it. Rossi. I think it's Theo Rossi.
Okay, great. Yeah, he's phenomenal.
He's great
yeah
in this. Let me just bring it up real quick. Yeah, Theo Rossi. This was directed by John Patton Ford. He also wrote it. There are a few other people in this that are, maybe some up and comers. I don't know. All right, yeah. So Emily the Criminal was great. It's on Netflix right now if you want to watch that. I watched I watched with my girlfriend Confess Fletch, which we both fucking love.
I also watched Confess Fletch.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What'd you think?
I'm telling you, I fucking watched everything this week. I was watching all kinds of stuff.
What'd you think?
I loved it, man.
Yeah?
I read a thing that there's like a murmur or what have you about a sequel to this.
Oh, God, I hope so.
I hope they make this a whole series.
Dude.
Like, I'm
in
loving
it.
this. Yeah, I'm into
We're
it,
about
man.
to get up in it, boy.
Oh, boy, we're about to get up in it. Fucking John Hamm's up in it, except for not the Countess or whatever her name is. She's trying, though, boy. She's going hard.
Played by the Countess, played by
The very funny
Marsha Gay Harden. Fucking hilarious.
Yeah, very funny stuff. The whole movie's
Dude,
great.
it's a riot.
Yeah. Hey, one for you that I'd like to recommend to you. I think I've talked about it on the show before. Weird, the Al Yankovic story.
You've talked about it, yes.
You would really enjoy that.
I know. I just need to get around to watch it.
Yeah,
Watch it.
free on Roku, baby.
Real quick, back to Confess Fletch. Fantastic performance from John Hamm, obviously. I do want to point out one of the detectives, Aiden Mayeri, she plays Grizz.
Oh yeah, she was great, man.
Fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And then Roy Wood Jr. He plays like the main detective.
yeah.
He was really good. Your serious man, if you will.
The straight man.
The straight man.
Yeah.
So yeah, good comedy crime film. If you're not familiar with Fletch, it's a novel. A couple older films with Chevy Chase, right?
Yeah, that is correct. You know what? And I gladly would substitute Chevy Chase for John Hamm because, Chevy Chase is a little racist. Look it up.
Yeah,
we're not going to go into detail about it. He's kind of an asshole.
Yeah.
Funny for his era or whatever, but
very funny, but he's kind of a piece of shit. All right, so the third film I want to talk about is The Stranger, which we've both seen. Watch that.
Oh yeah. I talked about that on a previous episode. I think with
Did
Jackson.
you? Okay.
With Jackson maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, really liked it. Some really standout performances by fucking
Joel Edgerton, Sean Harris.
I was getting ready to say Garwin. And Sean Harris, man. Sean Harris is phenomenal
Dude,
in it.
so good. I will say the first 30 to 45 minutes, I was like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Yeah,
it was very confusing.
Yeah, it was very confusing. And then there was a bit where he's like, "Hey, let me suck your dick, mate," and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah,
just stuff that seemed off-brand, but once you view the whole movie, it kind of makes more sense.
It does.
Guy that's this drifter that winds up killing this kid, and this is the way that the Australian, whatever division takes care of murders, decided to deal with this problem was to infiltrate him and get him into the secret gang or whatever, and to get him to admit it.
Yeah.
And that's what they did. So this is all based on a true story.
Yeah, this is a true story.
Yeah.
It's fucking wild, man.
It is wild. Yeah.
very,
Crazy story.
very just dark crime drama thriller. Very, very. I liked it.
Absolutely.
And then I finished the book Acid for the Children.
Oh,
by,
nice.
Flea.
Did it wrap up just as good as it started?
It's pretty good, man. Flea it's basically his childhood up until the time that he started Red Hot Chili Peppers. So it doesn't really go into the band, which I'm fine with because I'm not really a Chili Peppers fan.
Right.
As I've stated. His childhood is so fucked up. Very fucked up. Just absent parents, drugs, a lot of drugs.
Doing a bunch of PCP and shit.
Literally shooting. I didn't know this was a thing, but shooting up cocaine.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
What the fuck, dude?
I don't know.
That's bizarre. I'm gonna wrap this up real quick. I'm still
you're
watching.
Fine. We got plenty of time.
All right. I'm still watching Better Call Saul. I just finished season 4.
BCS,
Fucking
nice.
love it. I've seen up until season 5. There is a season 6. I'm hoping by the time I get to it, it's on Netflix. Probably, I doubt it.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
If it's like a month or two wait, you're still refreshed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that was the biggest thing. I was like, I want to watch the new season 6, but I don't remember anything.
Right.
So I was like, I'm just gonna restart it. So
Yeah.
fantastic performances from Bob Odenkirk, a few others. So I bought a Kindle.
Paperwhite.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about it.
Oh yeah, I guess I did mention
jelly
that.
about it. Like, if my mom bought me a Kindle Paperwhite like for Christmas or whatever, if I just randomly received one, I would read more stuff because that's something I can just throw in my fucking lunchbox.
Yeah.
And through the middle of the day when I've got some time, just read like 2 or 3 pages.
Yeah.
You know
it's
what I
so
mean?
easy. Yeah. It's just easy to bring with you. It's easy to look up words because you just hold the word. You just
I love that.
You know what I mean?
I love a word. You know,
words. You know,
dude, I fucking love words.
I have the best of them.
That's why I want to do a rap album because I like doing word stuff.
You like words?
Well, I tried it a couple of times and I was like, I think I actually with a little bit of practice, I think I could be really good at that. But anyway, back on task.
Yes.
Back on target.
So
last thing I watched, I'm going to cut you off. Last thing I watched was last night. I watched a thing that I kept seeing pop up on my feed, and I guess it didn't get like a theatrical release, but there is a horror anthology called Tiny Cinema, and man, I just had an absolute blast with it. It is in the horror genre, but this is a little bit of a spoiler. The first story in the anthology features a young couple having a game night with their friends, and they're playing Twister, and they're like, "Oh, left hand red, get way down there." That's what she said, and the young man is like, "Who's she?" And his friend is like, "Are you serious?" And he has like a mental breakdown over it. And like it turns into a horror thing because of that. Like he becomes obsessed with it. You know what I mean? Because he doesn't get the joke. Maybe he's never seen The Office. You know what I mean? Or a meme. I don't know. But for whatever reason, he doesn't get it. And his descent into madness. It's just a short little tiny film, and they're all hosted by the host of the host of the anthology. So he would be like the crypt keeper sort of thing. But he's just a dude, like a little person in a wheelchair, and he's got and he's very charming. Normally, like dressed up in a suit and stuff. He's a great host, and he's what makes this whole thing work so well. But there's like 6 stories, I think, and they're delightful.
Is this something you rented?
No, it's free on Vudu with ads, but I will say the ads on Vudu pretty generous as far as like placement and timing. Like they're not very long.
Tiny Cinema, comedy horror.
Yeah.
Man, it has a really bad review. Like, just
I don't get it, man. I think it's a lot of fun.
okay,
I think it's a lot of fun.
interesting.
But knowing that it is first and foremost, it is a like, hey, remember horror anthologies when those were hot, like in the late 80s and early 90s? This is that, but modernized a bit and done it, you know, for whatever they could get away with, because they're all small projects.
Okay,
You know what I'm saying?
right.
Like this is not a big Hollywood production. I don't know what the budget for it was, but I can't imagine it being terribly expensive.
$13. I don't know.
Considerably more than $13, I'm sure. But I really, really enjoy the shit out of that. What else did I watch?
Budget, it says $100,000.
100. Okay, that sounds about right.
That probably tracks, right?
That's considerably more than 13.
I don't know how math works.
Yeah, could be pretty close, I guess. One man's $13 is another man's $100,000 or whatever.
What else you got?
I also watched Pearl,
Oh,
which I had been really excited to watch. So I'm a big fan of Ty West's movie X.
yeah.
Like big
I
fan.
still have to watch it.
That I feel like you would like it, but I'm about 65% of me thinks that you'll like it. And the 65% of me that thinks that you'll like it thinks that you'll really like it.
Okay.
But the rest of me is like, you also might hate it though. So, I don't know. I think it's worth checking out. It's a refreshing look at a old trope.
Okay.
Yeah. But Pearl is the prequel to the movie X, and also starring Mia Goth. And I have to say, man, Ty West, if you watch X and Pearl back to back, they are so different.
Really?
It's hard to believe that it's written by this, that it's done by the same people, if it weren't for a lot of the camera stuff, like a lot of the angles and the color palette and the way that it's panned. Actually, you know what? That's not right, because the color palette's fucking way different, way brighter, and God, it is an incredible movie on its own. But if you watched it by itself and hadn't seen X, you would be like,
What the fuck is this?
so, yeah, you'd be like, where is this going? But if you've seen X, you know where it's going when you start it.
Yeah.
And watching it unfold is like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Is it
Ugh.
Is it an A? Or both of those are A24.
I believe,
releases,
yeah, I
right?
believe they're both A24 releases. But man, I really, really enjoyed Pearl a lot.
Should we just do like a A24 fucking
I want to do Lamb, but
movie-thon?
the thing with Lamb is like I would want you to watch it, but you'll be into 95% of the movie, and then you'll hate the ass end of it. You'll hate it so much.
Yeah, probably.
Look, I kind of don't like it, and I kind of like it at the same time.
I mean, if
Like-
that's how you feel about it, then yes, you're
Well,
probably right.
I don't like it because narratively, you're just like, and then this. And I'm like, come on. But then when you see it on screen, you're like, I do like this, though. Like, this is cool. It's cool to look at. What if more of it was this? I don't know. Maybe we'll watch it on the show sometime. It's a good time.
What you got next?
What do you got over there? You said you got one more left in the tank?
So I started a couple books that were duds, and I get really fucking picky when it comes to books. Maybe it's just like being in the right mood.
Yeah.
I'll start a book and be like, well, this is not. And sometimes it's just not good, but then sometimes it's like, this is good, but it's not what I'm feeling. I started a book called 4321 by Paul Auster. It is a story about a kid by the name of Archie Ferguson, but it's told at 4 different times. So like each chapter is a different version of the same person.
Okay.
So almost, I guess
Ooh.
I guess I haven't got that far. So chapter 1 is you get the original Archie Ferguson. So it's like, this is what his
OGAF.
This is what yeah, exactly. This is what his parents are like. This is what his grandparents are like. This is what they all do for a living. Here his cousins, his aunts, his uncles. Just breaks down his whole life, and then I assume from there you just get different versions, like where his life could have turned. So almost like parallel universes, I guess.
Okay, kind of everything everywhere all at once.
But it's not. Yeah, it's. I get the feeling that it's not that deep into like sci-fi or fantasy.
Yeah.
I haven't, like I said, I'm not that far into it, but it's really good so far.
Sounds pretty gripping.
Yeah.
Nice. Who wrote that?
Paul Auster?
Paul
Auster, however you say it. I believe so. I think I've talked about him
like
once.
Auster.
Yes.
Okay.
How would you say that? Auster? I don't know.
I think both of those, depending on where you're at geographically,
Right.
both of those are correct.
So I think I talked about him briefly on a
Auster.
previous.
I think if it's German, I think it would be Auster.
Probably, yeah. He wrote the New York trilogy, which I also read and probably talked about. Good stuff. Yeah, that's what I'm reading right now. It's super long. It's like almost 900 pages. So, yeah.
Nice.
Good times.
Yeah, that sounds cool. You know what? I watched another thing. Let me think of it here. As far as like video games, I have not got a chance to play any Persona 5 this week, and I am itching to get into it over the weekend.
Yeah.
I'm missing it after playing it so heavily and then not playing it for a week. I'm anxious to clock like 10 hours over the weekend and see how far I can get. Other than that, really just been playing Marvel Snap and doing a lot of podcast related stuff. Since we're back from our break, I probably recently finished editing the Christmas special and have yet to edit the clip show for the next year.
Fucking get in it.
I'm gonna have to get in it and get up at it. So, you know how we do.
Oh, I know how you do.
Oh, hey, one thing I did want to point out: if you stick around for the post credit after the outro for this episode, I'm gonna stick in some of just me and Birdman listening to the soundtrack for Whiplash.
Oh.
So stick around for that if you want, if you're at all interested to see what the fuck we're talking about. I think we're just listening to a solo part. But yeah, if you got anything for us, contact us. Contact the show at itsjusttwomovies@gmail.com. Twitter, Instagram at itsjusttwomovies. Facebook, we're on Facebook. It's just
Meta.
two movies, I guess. Yeah,
It's just too meta, bro.
in the metaverse, just one metapod, just one real NPC of a motherfucker. That's me, baby. You can interact, but no, if you send us any sort of message anywhere, I'm happy to reply. Or Birdman, if you're trying to get a hold of Birdman, you just write us.
Yeah.
At the thing, and I'll just be like, hey, I'm Birdman.
Just write me a letter.
I love dicks and
just
buttholes.
write me a letter and I'll get it. Just
Yeah.
put Birdman on the envelope.
They know.
I'll get it. They
The
know.
post office knows. They know. Don't let them fool you.
And they'll be like, "Oh, I know where this goes."
They know what they're doing. Yeah, those sons of bitches. I mean, I think that's all that we've got for now, and I don't know. Fucking until next time. This has been.
It's just two movies, and you should stay home and learn an instrument.
We're thinking about calling this Blue Harvest.
You guys aren't gonna start sucking each other's dicks, are you?
Let's call that gold talk for a one-eyed Batman.
Can I make a suggestion that doesn't involve violence? Or is this the wrong crowd?
Maybe we should call in a bomb threat to Houston. I think it's free beer night at the Astrodome.
We're Jedi, Bob. We don't fight with guns. We fight with our mind.
Cousin, businesses are booming.
That is one big pile of shit.
Jog on.
It's Just Two Movies is a production of Blue Cheese and Bacon Studios and can be found wherever you get your podcasts.
I just wanted to throw out a couple of special thanks for the folks that make this show possible. Big thanks to Brad Sexton for our jams, Lamplighter Production for our artwork, Godsized and Growing for some musical guest appearances, and Dave, who's our YouTube editor. We probably wouldn't even be on that platform were it not for him. If you want to check out anything any of these amazing people are working on, all of their links are in the description for this episode. If you want to contact the show, you can hit us up on Twitter or Instagram at It's Just Two Movies. We've got a Facebook page now, so that's on there. You can always leave us a comment on YouTube, or you can email us at itsjusttwomovies@gmail.com. Okay, yeah, and if you like the show, like, subscribe, leave us a review. That stuff helps tremendously.
Trying to find it's like faster than
Oh
I
my
think
god,
it
it's
is.
insane, dude. It's nuts.
God damn, that's fast.
I can't even mimic it that fast.
Jesus Christ. Doom, 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 doom,
While you're doing all this other
right.
But they're actually, it's like a, you know what I mean? What the fuck? Oh my god. Time for the breather.
Yeah. That's what I would have did.
Hey.
You know what I mean?
Just fucking about to get off.
Right.
So was I, though. You know what I mean?
Mm. How long can you go with just one?
Oh, that's fucking. Oh man, fucking because Mills would always do the high elbows during those long snarls. He'd be like, "Damn," because he's doing this, but you're hearing. Oh, there's so many people playing drums. Mm. Just a little more. Mm. All right, I'm hot. I'm primed. I'm fucking ready.
I'm ready.
To go. I'm ready to go, baby. Let me pull up on my shit here real quick. Let's do 10 seconds real fast.